Okay, I want to tell you about a dream I had, about a week to week and a half ago, and I feel like it's kind of like some sort of message from God or something, I don't know, but this is how it went. Like, I had the first part of the dream, like, 4 days before the rest of it. Sorry, my eyes are really dried out feeling, but okay, the first part of my dream I had like 4 days before the rest of it, but the first part of it went like, I don't know where I was at, but I was in with a bunch of other people, and we were in foot and hand shackles, ankle and hand shackles, all tied together, and we were being forced to march. I got this feeling like it was some building where we were going to be kept as prisoners, and for some reason, like, no one was saying this, but I kept having, like, it was like someone was whispering government in my ear repeatedly and repeatedly. And the second part of my dream is, well, the first part of my dream, it was during the day. It was a really hot, sunny day that we were marching, but in the second part of my dream, it was like we were, I was getting out of this van at some building. It was like me and like 3 other people, and my girlfriend Olivia, she was already in the building, I guess, as a prisoner, and like me and the 3 other people were walking. You know, there was one of them went ahead, and I was walking with this, I think it was a guy right beside me. He had long, dark hair though, and I looked behind us, and there was this woman that was walking behind us who was kind of watching us, and so I kind of ignored it and started walking a little bit more, and out of the sky, and this is where I kind of get the biblical thing, God thing, because in the Old Testament this happens some, but in my out of the sky came this thin little funnel cloud. It wasn't a tornado or anything, it was just a thin little string that kept coming down, and it formed into it was like a man, but he had a full, like, lion's head, kind of like saying God is like, or Jesus is the Lion of Judah. He was a tall guy, but he was like 6.5 foot, it seemed like, with a lion's head. He was made out of black cloud, because it was really dark clouds overhead. He was made out of black cloud, and his eyes were glowy, but you could see very detailed, like how he had like a 6-pack, and I don't know what a 6-pack had to do with it, but he had one. He was about 6.5 feet tall, and his eyes were glowing green, and he was talking to me about how something was going to happen I couldn't really understand what he was saying, because it was kind of like a rumbling talk, because he had a deep voice, so it was like, I couldn't really understand what he was saying. I got this, like, vibe that he was trying to warn me that something major was going to happen, that I need to prepare for it. And I think it was for like a huge thing that was about to happen. And then after he's done talking, he like went back up the same way he came down, like in the string of, you know, it was about 2 foot around string of clouds that just kept going up into the sky, back into the clouds, until he was gone. And like, whenever we were walking, me and the other person started walking again, I looked back behind us, and the closer we got to that building, that woman was still following us, but the closer we got, the closer she kept following, and she kept getting like thinner and thinner, like a skeleton. And like, whenever she ran ahead of us and went towards the door of the building, and I ended up going inside the building. I don't know what happened to the other person walking with me, but I ended up going inside, and to the building there was like 2 front doors, and then there was like a tiny little sitting area, and then like 2 more doors, and you could go officially inside the building. And I went inside and looked around. Then I started heading back outside, and that lady came in, and she started, her skin started to like evaporate, and she started turning into like a skeletal being. But whenever I tried to run towards her and push her out, I think it might have been out of anger that she came in, but I pushed her out of the building. I think out of anger and some attempt to save her, and she just fell into a skeleton on the ground. And it was just like, I didn't really know what to do then, but I just went back, and like next thing I knew, I was in this big herd of people on the 2nd story of this building being moved to somewhere else. And I knew there was other people that I was close to about to come down the line, so I waited against the wall for them and met up with them. So that whenever they came down, I met up with them, and I walked down with them wherever we went. And that's where the dream ended. And I was talking to somebody about it, my dream, and they were talking about what they told me. Well, their opinion is that, she was telling me that, in the Old Testament, in the Bible, that God had come to people before in the form of a cloud. And, obviously that Jesus, we talk about the whole lion head, that could refer to, as Jesus being referred to the Lion of Judah. But while other times I've thought about it, I remember, when I was a little kid, I had lessons about the Bible that talked about how no one really ever saw God's face, and if they did, they would have to die. And I was thinking, well, maybe that, in a way, that was God coming down to talk to me, actually God, but he was using a lion head so I wouldn't have to see his face. Because I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, well, Jesus, whenever he comes back down, it'll be whenever he comes to bring the people, the people that were faithful to God, back to heaven. So maybe that was showing that it's not Jesus coming down, even though the lion refers to him as Judah and all that. But I just wanted to share my dream and see what input any of people viewing this video, because I wanted to make a video telling you about this to see if just get some opinions, because I can see the sense in the opinion of the lady I talked to, but I just want to see other people's opinions on what they think about that and everything else. So alright, any opinions that can be shared, just please share them.